I am not ashamed of what I did. I had my reasons for doing what I did, even if the audience can't understand that. And I stand by the opinion that art is art.
Well guys, we're back. Today we are finally getting to look at a response to a situation that happened about a month ago that I will admit I kind of got personally invested in. It's gonna be a good day. A little over a month ago, a YouTuber whose name I still really don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, Caroline Constnar, went viral for pulling a little stunt in which she faked a pregnancy and a miscarriage in order to promote her Patreon. Yeah, really cool and awesome 21st century stuff going on here. Now, as you can probably imagine, this little stunt was not exactly received very well. People were not super duper happy. And Caroline's defense during all of this was that she's making these videos as part of a social experiment to show her audience and show the general public how bad parasocial relationships have gotten and how weird they can be. Now, if you haven't seen the original video that this woman made, you're missing out on a lot of context here. I would recommend you go give it a watch. So for your convenience, I'll link my video that I made on this up in the top right corner. No pressure to click it, but you should. But after all of this backlash and about a month of radio silence, Caroline finally responded addressing all of this controversy. And yeah, it's just about as bad as you would probably expect. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
What if she was never pregnant?
Hello to the great people of Patreon. You may be wondering how I feel about all the backlash which I have received regarding my video. I feel bad because I'm being socially rejected for being insensitive, which is just me being narcissistic.
You could've just done a hi, I'm back video.
I didn't realize that you were a demented sociopath. Well, I'm sorry that you got the news this way.
When I actually get pregnant and I actually have a miscarriage, or I find out that I can't get pregnant at all, then you guys can laugh.
Actually, I think I'll laugh now, if that's okay with you, Caroline. This video is a pretty funny one given the context. Now, I'm assuming this video was originally intended for patrons only or something, but this is on her YouTube channel. Somebody sent me a link to it. It's just unlisted, so I don't know, maybe the Patreon's not performing as expected. It's a pretty goofy move to hide your response or your apology, whatever you want to call this, behind a paywall, so only the people who support you the most can see it. Can you say echo chamber?
When I was first receiving the backlash, it was very upsetting because there was this pressure to respond to it, where I'm like, oh my god, people are so mad at me, they need an apology, because that's what you do when you're a YouTuber, when you've upset people, is you apologize.
Oh, Caroline, talk about being chronically online. No, that's just actually what you generally do anytime. If you upset a person or hurt their feelings or do something you shouldn't have done, generally you apologize regardless of the situation. My god, imagine having a brain where you think that apologizing is only something that YouTubers do.
And clearly a lot of people are upset for reasons that are completely valid. Then there are people that are upset for reasons that aren't not technically valid because they misunderstood the point of the video or the joke, whatever it may be. There's a lot of shit going on right now and I need to account for it and I have to take responsibility for my actions. And in the end, I was just like, man, fuck it, who cares? The only reason why I would apologize for this video is to explain myself because people totally misinterpreted what I did.
Caroline, I think somehow maybe you misinterpreted what you did. I mean, this is a relatively black and white situation. You faked a pregnancy and you faked a miscarriage. You admitted to both of those things with the sole purpose of advertising your Patreon. You also admitted to that. While you were doing all this, you likely realized, this is probably not going to be the best look, so I'm going to say that this is actually a social experiment, and you made some bullshit up about parasocial relationships. People are upset about all of that. I don't think people are misinterpreting anything.
And now I am the YouTuber that did something horrible. The only reason why I would explain myself on that channel is because my ego was hurt. The only reason why I would be like, actually, no, it's not bad and it's funny and you just don't understand it, is because I felt hurt. And honestly, at the end of the day, yes, I feel hurt when people are getting upset with me. Having that at a mass scale can be extremely uncomfortable. It is extremely uncomfortable. But at the same time, how the hell are you going to get cyberbullied when you can just turn off your damn computer? And the minute I turn off my damn computer, I'm fine.
Then why are you making this video? I mean, seriously, what's the point of it if you don't care? You clearly do. Caroline seems like a pretty big bullshitter. That's my first impression of her. It seems like everything is a facade. She does not seem very honest.
The implications of a person being able to put on a song and dance on social media and have it be really emotionally provocative to the extent that an audience would empathize with the character that they see on the screen and believe that it's real because there is this expectation that what you're watching on social media is real, and that if that person, this character that's sharing their false reality, has a call to action and asks you in the audience to do something about it, that you do something. That to me is fucking wild. That to me is why being a YouTuber has been so bizarre, because to me, YouTube looks like a big propaganda machine. Your phone, your social media is regulating your mood. For a lot of people, it regulates your mood. And beyond that, it shapes your perception of reality. It tells you what is socially appropriate, what is not socially appropriate. It triggers you and then it consoles you. It tells you what's going on in the world, even if it's not true. It is a little magical box with all of this power to curate and manage how you exist in society. And I think it's really cool. I think from that perspective, the phone, as much as that kind of sounds a little frightening, the phone is a really cool thing. Social media is a really cool thing. It's like one of the best tools of governance that's ever been invented.
Okay, so I just wanted to let that little rant, I guess, play out because it's time to dissect. I'm not trying to be a bully, okay? I'm not trying to be a mean guy here, but Caroline reminds me of that girl who would raise their hand in your AP Lang class, and you're just like, oh fuck, here we go. Okay, what are we hearing today? Caroline, you need to stop. The phone is not a propaganda government machine. Social media is not doing this. Social media is not doing that. What are you referring to? The concept, the idea that you are talking about here is a pretty old one. It's called lying. Caroline, you seem like you have a ridiculously, insanely big ego. I'm not trying to be that guy, but your emotional maturity seems kind of not there. You seem to think pretty damn highly of yourself, to the point where you're talking about YouTube as a propaganda machine, all this shit. No, you're just lying to people. There is a difference between propaganda and just being dishonest. You are not a big enough entity to where the lie that you told on YouTube is manipulating people. You're not a fucking puppet master creating propaganda. No, you're just taking advantage of an audience who wouldn't expect you to lie about something like you did. There's no character here. There's no character you're playing. People just thought you were making a heartfelt video. Just like when you made your original video talking about the pregnancy, there is a huge difference between what you are saying happened and what you actually did. This is like me making a video out of the blue saying, hey guys, I got ran over by a fucking train yesterday and I lost both of my legs. Here's a GoFundMe. Please help me pay for my hospital bills. And then a few weeks later, I'm like, haha, just kidding. It's a prank. It was a character. Thanks for the money, idiots. Out of the blue, after not uploading videos for a very long time on YouTube, you came back with a video that is very different from your normal style of content, and you said I'm pregnant. People took notice of what they thought was you being out of character and not making a skit-like video, and they believed you. That's all that happened. This is no different than walking up to a person and saying, hey, I need to talk to you. This is serious. I'm pregnant. Your friend goes, oh, okay, this is a lot different than what they would say if they were joking. They're being serious. This has nothing to do with a propaganda creating magical box known as your phone. This is just called lying, Caroline. Grifting, if you will. That's what you're doing. No social experiment to be found here.
Because now we can govern people without them knowing at all. Without them knowing how. We can govern people's fundamental perception of reality and themselves without them knowing at all. And that is beautiful. That is so fucking interesting and so cool and so evil.
Again, Caroline, this is not new. Anytime in the past, anytime in history, if you wanted to govern somebody's fundamental perception of reality, you know what you did? You lied to them. You're trying to make this sound far bigger than it is. You're still just describing somebody getting lied to.
And I find it crazy that not a lot of people realize this or appreciate that idea to the extent that they get off their fucking telephones. You know, this video, as much as it was emotionally for me about trying to feel in control of the audience and their perception of me and how they felt in the moment when they were watching me, this was also just a commentary on this new wave of propaganda.
Caroline, I need you to come back to earth, okay? What the fuck are you talking about? What about what you did is demonstrating the effects of modern propaganda? Seriously. Like, maybe you just don't understand that word? I don't know. I really don't understand what's going on here. Is modern propaganda helped out by the fact that most people have their phones stuck completely up their ass? Absolutely. That's absolutely fine to say. But simply deceiving a person, that is not what propaganda is. If you're walking through the mall and somebody walks up to you and says, hey man, let me clean your shoes, and they tell you that the shoe cleaner they're using is the best thing ever. It's gonna get out any stains, it's gonna make your shoes look brand new, and he convinces you that you should buy some shoe cleaner, and you get home and it doesn't really work as well as you were expecting, you've been deceived. That person lied to you. They did not employ propaganda. Let's say for a moment that you really did make those videos as a form of commentary on modern propaganda. I'm sorry, but you failed. Like, seriously, your original excuse as to why you did this, saying that you wanted to point out how bad parasocial relationships are, that makes more sense than the bullshit you're spewing now. You should have stuck to your original story.
Illustrating this new wave of propaganda. It totally makes sense why people would think that this was a sincere attempt at making money. But I don't think that they consider that a sincere attempt at making money would be for me to continue to fake the pregnancy and continue to just like have a baby, just to take videos with a baby and tell people that I was pregnant and that I needed money on Patreon or like GoFundMe or whatever the fuck it was to like take care of baby expenses. That's a sincere and malicious way to get money from my audience.
You know what, Caroline? You are absolutely correct. Unfortunately for you, however, what you did do is also a sincere, malicious attempt to try and get money from your audience. Just because you can give an example of something that would be worse than what you did does not change the facts of what you did. You spent hours formulating a series of videos so you could con people into clicking on a video that advertises your Patreon. Yeah, Caroline, that is a malicious attempt to get money. Sorry.
This call to action in that second video is intentionally tasteless and transparent because I just want to illustrate the insanity of all of this. That the first video can feel so real, so compelling, so emotionally manipulative, and then the call to action at the end of the day is just heartless and shameless and for somebody else's bottom line. I love it.
Caroline, I would love to have a chat with you because I just want to ask you, do you think you invented this or something? You really talk about this like you are making some sort of revolutionary point here. Like this is a breakthrough moment. No, you are just describing a con artist. Like that's it. This has nothing to do with modern propaganda or the existence of iPhones or social media or anything like that. You're just describing a con. I don't understand the point you think you're making by saying any of this. This sounds like you saying you conned your audience and you love it. At least there's some honesty in this video, I guess.
And as much as I would love to explain that to everybody, it wouldn't matter. People that don't understand it won't understand it. People that understand it but are upset are going to stay upset. People that do commentary videos, that made commentary videos about this, they don't care about the truth. They just need something for their channel that week. This shit ended up on CBS, which is absolutely batshit crazy to me. The reality doesn't matter. The truth does not matter. The intention does not matter. It's about what was interpreted. It's about what people perceive.
Oh, how surprising. A lame fucking cop-out. Of course you can't explain it. Of course you won't because people just don't care, right? No, the reality is you have no explanation for this. You want to paint yourself as this super intelligent, deep thinker who's doing all this for the greater good, but you really just have no explanation for it. Now look, did some people probably see your video getting some attention and decide to not really look into it too deeply and just shit on you for what you did? Yeah, probably. A lot of shitty commentary channels out there exist. This is not news. But to say that nobody really cares, nobody actually wants the truth, they just want views, they just want something for their channel that week, that's a really fucking lame cop-out, Caroline. I'm here a month and a half after this happened, after everybody's already forgotten about this stupid shit you've done, talking about a video that right now has 600 views on YouTube. Yeah, I'm really doing this to break the algorithm, huh? This is the one that's gonna bring me the big bucks for the month? Come on, don't kid yourself, Caroline. You're only saying this because you don't have an actual explanation for the stupid thing you did. It's okay to say that, just be honest.
And as much as I would love to control what people think, I can't. Yeah, I did something that was insensitive, and I did something that was intentionally provocative. So like I was asking for it, but still the process of having, thousands of people be like, fuck you, and you're evil. It hurts. It hurts, and I felt super bad, and I journaled a lot about it. I just got out of the shower. I journaled a lot about it, and I was like, what does this really mean? Why did I do this? Why am I an asshole? What's wrong with me? And I felt so bad, and I was like, oh my god, I need to apologize to everyone that got really upset and were traumatized by the video, because it wasn't their fault for watching it. As much as I think that they're responsible for the content that they consume, I'm ultimately the one that hurt them, and I should apologize for it. And then I was like, what?
My god, who the fuck is the audience for this woman? Talk about insufferable, my goodness. So let me get this straight, Caroline. This is actually the audience's fault because they're responsible for the content they consume, okay? That's an interesting perspective, I guess. So if you get scammed by a business or misled by a friend or manipulated by a parent, anything like that, any sort of situation like that, is that actually your fault? Is it your fault for walking into a business? Is it your fault for having a friend you didn't know is an asshole? Is it your fault for being born to parents who don't like you? Where does this end, Caroline? Sorry to break it to you, but no, you are the one at fault for purposefully misleading thousands of people. That's on you. Absolutely 100%. To try and make this the audience's fault, that's awesome. You should be friends with the Paul brothers. I think you guys would get along greatly.
I don't care. And who knows, in the future, maybe it will occur to me that having some kind of explanation or having some kind of apology is worthwhile, is valuable, but for now I'm like, I am not ashamed of what I did. I had my reasons for doing what I did, even if the audience can't understand that. And I stand by the opinion that art is art. And to moralize art is, I get it. I get the inclination to moralize anything, but...
Hey, Caroline, I'm gonna need you to stop talking. Like right now. I'm gonna go scam your grandma for her retirement plan and then tell you it's art. Are you shitting me? Are we being serious right now? Are we living on the same planet? Talking about allowing social media to tell you what's right and wrong? Yeah, I think you might want to take that message to heart there, Caroline. Faking a miscarriage to promote your weird little Patreon to your audience. Yeah, this belongs in a museum. My god, I don't think I've ever heard a person more pretentious. Me deceiving my entire audience for financial gain? What do you mean that's bad? It's called art, but maybe you're just too stupid to understand it. Yeah, that's basically what this video is telling Caroline's audience.
Is useless. You just be motherfucking curious. And also, I just think that like canceling is silly. I know that, in the near future, if I ever appear again in public or in a very public forum on the internet, people are gonna be like, is this the girl that faked her pregnancy? This is absolutely despicable. She's fucking disgusting, or whatever it may be. Yeah, that's gonna happen, but I'm like, that's ridiculous. Get over it. Anti-fragility. That's what I think is really important, and why I think cancel culture is counterproductive.
Hey, Caroline, you should know that you are extremely lucky that you're a YouTuber. You should be counting your lucky stars. You should not be doing this. You should not be playing with fate like this. You strike me as a person who would not do very well off of YouTube. You're 20 years old and you have genuinely zero, and I mean 0 sense of personal accountability. This is not cancel culture. This is you doing something ridiculously fucking stupid and people deciding, you know what? I don't really like that. Remember how a moment ago you were saying that people are responsible for the content they consume? Yeah, this is part of that, genius. People deciding that they don't want to watch the content of, or they don't want to associate with a person who does something like you did. You seem to have no actual stance on anything whatsoever. It genuinely just sounds like you're saying shit to try and sound smart or contrarian. You contradict yourself every other sentence.
If someone is triggered, they're not just triggered and then they go back to normal. Once they're triggered, they think about why they were triggered, they learn to process their feelings, and they grow as a person as a result of being triggered. That's anti-fragility, and that shit does not exist on the internet. The culture has divulged or devolved into something that is absolutely ridiculous, where some people are horrifically insensitive and just numb and absurd and ridiculous. And then there are people that are just terribly reactive and sensitive and projecting a lot of their history onto media that has nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Ah, yes. What an objective viewpoint that's not affected by feelings whatsoever. Everything that I think is bad and goes too far, but everything that I think is okay that people get mad about is just people being reactive and too sensitive. You're a real generational thinker here, Caroline.
And this kind of insanity that I am witnessing on the internet, I find it extremely interesting. I find it personally troubling. And as an artist, I just want to poke around, see what happens. You know, people are upset, and that's fair. I think people have the right to be upset. But I don't think I have any responsibility to respond to it. And if there are consequences for my actions, so be it. But yeah, anyways.
Caroline, I'm gonna be honest here. You should have gone with your gut. You really should have just stuck with the idea that there was no reason for you to respond, because you doing this has made you look significantly worse. I feel like all this video has done has shown that you have very little emotional maturity, and that you think you are above everything. You can't be held responsible for anything. That the way you do things is the right way, and everybody else just needs to catch up to you. It's not a very good look, but fortunately for you, and for all of us, this is where you decided to stop talking. Well guys, what do you think? Is clickbaiting your audience and deceiving them into thinking you experienced something traumatic actually just modern art? Are we all just uneducated, culturalist nobodies who can't understand Caroline's higher level of thinking? I don't think so. I feel like this is a pretty shallow attempt to shift the blame from Caroline to everybody else. Nothing's her fault, anything that anybody said about it is wrong, and she won't explain any further. What a sound response. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.